What a weird and bizarre situation we find ourselves in tonight in Toronto, where we've had a British atheist of Christian descent, a non-Jew, telling the Jewish grandson of Holocaust victims who lives in Israel that he's an anti-Semite. What a bizarre debate. Tells you everything.
May peace be upon you, my friends. So there was this unforgettable Munk debate on whether anti-Zionism is anti-Semitism. And oh, what a masterclass Mehdi Hasan and Gideon Levy just put on. They didn't just debate, they eviscerated Douglas Murray's thinly veiled bigotry. You might remember the very similar debate happened in 2019 when the House voted that anti-Zionism is not at all anti-Semitism. Now in this debate, time and again Mehdi emphasizes deep concern about the rise of anti-Semitism worldwide and his commitment to fighting it. Yet, he brilliantly argued that equating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism is a dangerous and misleading approach.
I get it. Anti-Semitism is undeniably on the rise. Hate crimes are on the rise. I've said this for years. Take a stand against anti-Semitism, all of us. But this isn't it. This is not it. This motion is not it. I'm sorry.
Furthermore, Gideon Levy astutely pointed out that this tactic of labeling all criticism, any criticism of Israel as anti-Semitic, could actually fuel more anti-Semitism.
There is anti-Semitism in the world. It should be fought without any compromises, no doubt about this. But the manipulation of Israel to label any criticism as anti-Semitism makes a damage to the fight against anti-Semitism.
But let's not kid ourselves. Who are these anti-Semites? Are they just Palestinians suffering under Israel's brutal policies, brutal occupation? No, they are fighting an occupier. But it is far-right extremists that are actually anti-Semite. The very ilk of Douglas Murray's squad. And who else? None other than our very beloved atheist, Zionist, warmonger, genocide apologist, Douglas Murray. And Mehdi masterfully exposed Murray's hypocrisy in this debate. Let's have a look.
Even while the old anti-Semitism from Douglas's end of the political spectrum is flourishing right now. We have a Republican presidential candidate who is a card-carrying anti-Semite who hosts Holocaust deniers for dinner. But we don't hear about that. We have far-right militias on the rise right now across North America. We don't hear about that. Just a few years ago, the biggest massacre of Jews in North American history took place in a synagogue in Pittsburgh, and the shooter was not a left-wing anti-Zionist, it was a right-wing anti-Semite.
Yeah, did you hear a single word by Douglas and his squad against these right-wing anti-Semites? No, not a single word. And this was the best part of the debate when Mehdi taught Douglas about anti-Semitism. Let's have a look.
We don't talk about the threat posed by Viktor Orban, openly anti-Semitic leader in Europe. If I wanted to make a cheap debating point, I'd say that's because he's a fan of Douglas and Douglas is a fan of his. But I won't make that cheap debating point.
Here, my boy. Here. He ripped him off. He literally just ripped him off. That's beautiful. That's stunning. By the way, for your information, Viktor Orban is the right-wing, openly anti-Semitic and Islamophobic president of Hungary. That's a legit question, yeah. Did Murray ever decry far-right anti-Semitism? Not a peep? Why? Isn't he against anti-Semitism? Yes. He don't care about the rising anti-Semitism. Because protecting Jews isn't his game. Hating Muslim is. Literally, he doesn't give a fuck about Jews. He doesn't care about Jews. He just hates Muslims. He is an Islamophobe. And that's why he's speaking so ferociously, so malignantly against innocent Palestinians who are the victim of genocide, who are the victim of the most brutal genocide in the 21st century. Because the enemy of your enemy makes a good friend. Lastly, Mehdi delivered a stinging blow, exposing Murray's entire charade with audacious precision. Let's have a look.
There being the West Bank, where a record number of children have been killed since October the 7th, even though the West Bank is not run by Hamas. There being Israel, where a government of self-proclaimed fascists and racists faces nightly protests from thousands of Jewish Israelis, including the families of hostages. But no, don't look over there. Look over here. Embrace this pernicious idea that those of us who oppose the way in which Israel was created, or what Israel has become, or how Israel treats its Palestinian minority, we're all somehow bigots, racists, anti-Jewish, even the Jews among us, like Gideon. Because remember, that is the motion tonight, not whether you support Israel or Zionism, which is fine, but whether the rest of us who don't are automatically anti-Semitic. What a weird and bizarre situation we find ourselves in tonight in Toronto, where we've had a British atheist of Christian descent, a non-Jew, telling the Jewish grandson of Holocaust victims who lives in Israel that he's an anti-Semite. What a bizarre debate. Tells you everything.
That's how you dismantle a propagandist. Mehdi just nailed it. Murray actually hate all Jews who even try to criticize Jews. Ilan Pape, Norman Finkelstein, Gideon Levy, Noam Chomsky, Avi Shlaim, all these scholars of Holocaust surviving families are bugs to Douglas. Dear Douglas, this is anti-Semitism. The hate and isolation these Jews have to face just because they criticize a foreign country is pure anti-Semitism. But one thing that this debate makes clear, if you would see the complete debate, and if you would just make yourself familiar with the whole discourse, you would realize that we are not progressing towards peace. We are not. We have to accept that. Warmongers like Douglas Murray have huge influence as they won the House in this voting. And when warmongers are popular, war and destruction became the rule. Still, no matter how hopeless circumstances seem, we keep praying for peace in Palestine and other occupied places on earth. Now let's end this video. You can let us know in the comments, do you think we can ever achieve peace in this region in our lifetime? And which lens will be useful to achieve peace, in your opinion? The one that Douglas used, or the one that Mehdi and Gideon and many moderate, peace-loving people are using, those who see beyond the tunnel? Lastly, if you want Muslim moderate voices to be heard in the political spectrum, please consider subscribing. And the plus point is that after 1,000 subscribers, I will start doing live streams. So subscribe, man, what you're waiting for. Till then, take care of your nearby pupil, irrespective of their ethnicity, irrespective of their religion. Either they are Jews, either they are Muslims. Just love them, just keep care of them. So take care of each other. See you some other day.